just to prefix this video, I wanted to show you what the press is saying about our recent form. El Sackio approaches for Johnstone halt. I knew I wasn't doing great, guys, but I didn't think I was involved in an El Sackio. Oh my word. Oh wow, that's hilarious. Oh my gosh. Hello everybody, welcome back to Playbook FM. My name is Jay and I'm jumping back into my FM20 beta save with Aberdeen a lot sooner than I thought I would be. Reason being, as you saw in the intro, I'm involved in an El Sackio race. Ladies and gentlemen, it's gotten that bad. Let me show you our recent form. It's just absolutely shocking. Absolutely shocking. At this point, I don't actually remember which match we came back for, which match was in the last episode, but I've gotten through the whole of November and it's just, it's dire. So yeah, I'm starting to think that maybe such a challenge wasn't the best save to start with, but hey ho, I do believe that I can still turn this form around. I've completely dropped all my tactics that I'd tried to mastermind. Clearly, I'm an idiot. So I'm just going with some slightly altered preset tactics. So again, I think we played this in the last episode anyway. Just the 4-3-3 system. I've changed this defensive midfielder to a halfback, just to offer us a little bit more protection when we go forward. And I think I might actually change Ferguson to an advanced playmaker. I'll figure all that before the first match, which will be against Livingston in the El Sackio. I can't even bring myself to say it. The El Sackio match against Livingston, and then we'll play the St. Johnstone match at home on the TV. So, starting 11 for this match against Livingston, the El Sackio match. Joe Lewis in goal, Antonio Morin in the fullback position, Zach Viner, Andrew Considine and Greg Lee, who's in pretty decent form at the moment. 7.2 average rating over the last 5 games. I'm bringing on Dean Campbell to play that halfback role. He can play somewhat decently, and we're not kind of messing up the midfield too much. It's not coming up as an area for concern. However, there's some minor issues at the back here. That's probably why we're leaking all of our goals. Probably should address the centre-back position come January, if I'm still here. Lewis Ferguson, Craig Bryson in midfield, with Ryan Hedges, Conor McLennan and Ryan Brewster up front. Let's get into the match. And, oh my word. However, I do find it hilarious that they've now got the El Sackio they've got the El Sackio derby kind of coded into the game. That is absolutely wonderful to me. And I'm so glad that, I'm not glad we're doing bad, but if there's one thing to take from this save, it's the fact that we found that El Sackio Easter egg in the game so early on. That might be an exclusive, to be fair. I might have just gotten the scoop. My first Football Manager scoop of FM20. But right, we finally got a highlight after 16 minutes. It's on key highlights. I think I might have to change that to extended. I think we're just playing that bad that there's just not any highlights showing up. But Ryan Brewster is cutting all that nonsense out as we speak. Scores his 6th goal of the season. And speaking of good form, Ryan Brewster has been scoring goals in the Scottish Prem. He was the second. He was runner-up in the top young player award, whatever it's called. And for this very reason, he scored about 3 or 4 headers in the last, maybe 3 or 4 games, to be fair. He got a brace of headers against Rain. No, I can't remember who scored a brace against. I might show you that highlight at the end of the match or in between these matches. But yeah, both of them coming from headers. So we're finally getting some form out of Brewster. But what in the world just happened there? it's just last ditch defending. We're looking like a Sunday league team at the back, and I really could do with some money just to kind of shore up the back four. But the board are being quite tight-fisted, and yeah. And to be fair, maybe deservedly so, because, you know, form's been absolutely terrible. Maybe that's why they're not releasing the funds. But yeah, Aberdeen as a club don't have that much money compared to the likes of Celtic and Rangers. By the way, I am watching how poor we are at the back, and I am very nervous of it, which is why I'm just kind of talking. We're just imagining it's not happening, and we managed to somehow go into half-time 1-0 up. We've had 71% possession and 22 shots, so it's not like we're playing bad. It's just that this match is absolutely crazy. There's still room for improvement. We played well. We've got 22 shots off somehow, and I think that's because we made the system that bit more fluid. See, we've now got fluid as it was flexible before. So I think that's maybe the reason why we've had so much more shots, and maybe why we've had so much more possession as well. 70% possession this match, and I can't tell if maybe it's the shape or if it's the new style, the new tiki-taka we're trying to play. But things are looking a bit better, and Ryan Hedges is through on goal here. Takes it out wide, plays in Morin, the ball lands to Ferguson takes a shot, he forces Bryson takes a shot, back to Ferguson, Morin to Ferguson, Morin finds McLennan overlapping, and oh my word, how did we not score a goal there? We're playing beautiful football today. I'm so happy that this is happening, like, in this episode. I'm glad I came back to record for El Sackio, because we look like a completely different team, and all the issues we had in the first half defensively seem to have gone now, because we're not getting a single highlight for Livingston. That being said, Considine's still on a 6.7 and Marin's a bit apprehensive. I'm not going to change things up too much right now. What I'm going to do is maybe try and calm excuse my language, calm Antonio Marin down a little bit. Wait, why am I saying excuse my language? Fuck it. So yeah, I think we might have pulled it off. 81st minute, we've had no more highlights, so the games are starting to fizzle out. Greg Lee's playing well. He's tired. He's got a yellow card though, and Antonio Marin's still looking apprehensive. We're gonna bring off Marin. I've got Devlin on the bench. No, that's not who we want. That's not who we want on at all. You know what? I can't make any changes at the back. We'll take off Ryan Hedges. Give James Wilson some time, because as you can see, he's not played at all this season. And I was checking the playing time happiness, which is a new feature, I think, since last year. Well, not even I think, it's definitely a new feature. So I've taken a look at that, and he's been looking, alienated, because he's not played any minutes, I think. So we're giving him his first 10 minutes, try and get him some fitness, try and kind of reintegrate him in the squad. And we find Ryan Brewster overlapping in behind, 1-on-1 with the keeper. Keeper saves it, but again, we're playing decent football, and you can even hear it in the crowd. We're just knocking the ball around, and the crowd are loving it. But speaking of crowd, the attendance looks pretty poor here at Pittodrie today. At the end of the match, I'll check the attendance. To be fair, I should have been checking the attendance after the matches, like since the start of the season, just to kind of see how the fans are feeling about how we're playing. But we get our win, 1-0. Did pretty well. Yeah, let's not be too passive aggressive with them. But we record an well overdue win. We win 1-0 in the El Sackio derby, and then now it's time to play St. Johnstone. Oh, snap! Oh, he actually got sacked off the back of that match. I wonder if I'd lost, if I genuinely would have got sacked. So, guys, so for the match at home against St Johnstone, live on the TV, we have Joe Lewis in goal, Antonio Morin, Scott McKenna, Considine and Greg Lee as a back four. Dean Campbell starts again in that half-back position. Lewis Ferguson, Craig Bryson in midfield, Ryan Brewster, Ryan Hedges and Eamon Brophy makes a start up front in this match. And Eamon Brophy's not been too happy about his lack of playing time lately. And it's not that he's been playing bad, it's just that Ryan Brewster's come into some amazing form and I just haven't really been able to kind of find space for him on the team sheet. But we're starting out Ryan Brewster on the wing today so that we can start Eamon Brophy. As you saw before the match, my assistant manager was saying that Eamon Brophy deserves a start. I haven't been paying too much attention to it, maybe should be, but I think his training performances might have improved, perhaps. But we're 20 minutes in and we've not got a highlight, so I'm just going to demand more. But our first highlight starts with St Johnstone throwing the ball in, taking a shot that hits off the crossbar, and we're looking shaky at the back again. Our defensive problems are terrible, like absolutely terrible. But that being said, we did keep a clean sheet last match, and I think that the half-back defensive midfielder is paying dividends. It just kind of offers us a little bit more cover centrally, perhaps. But yeah, when we think when we started out this shape, we had a decline playmaker on defensive, and I didn't quite like the way that when we were attacking, we just had kind of just two guys back really, and everybody else, joining the attack. So the halfback, we do kind of get a bit more cover, and that first half must have been pretty bad because we didn't get any highlights. So let's just rip into them a little bit. Lewis Ferguson, he's looking a bit stressed. I messed up the halftime team talk. Our best player out there is going to go back out there and just do absolutely nothing in the second half. And Brophy's looking complacent. He's been asking for football. He gets a start and he's looking complacent. So I don't know. What should I do? You guys let me know what I do with this Eamon Brophy situation in the comments. Because if he's going to come into matches looking complacent and crying about not getting football, I'm just not starting. Because we've not had any attacks today either. Like, we're receiving nothing, like barely any highlights. And he's still not improving. I'm going to take him off. James Wilson will come on, but I'm going to put Ryan Bruce up front. James Wilson, look how poor he is, like match condition wise. I've not rotated this squad at all. But to be fair, in my defence, we have been dealing with a couple of long-term injuries. Two defenders as well, actually. We've got Ash Taylor, who's yet to make his start in the league, to even make an appearance. And in fact, that being said, I'm going to bring him on for the last 20. That might be a mistake. Probably was a mistake. But nothing's happening this match. We're just going to change things up. We dominate in possession-wise as well. So it's not even like we're struggling too much. It's just we're just not getting goals. So what do I go and do? I bring on two defenders and go to an attacking system. And yeah, 0-0 draw and quite a nothing match. Well guys, I'm going to call it time on this episode. So for the next episode, I do want to show you the Celtic and Hearts matches, especially with this new system which seems to have kind of turned our form around just a little bit. So I'll play Motherwell and Kilmarnock, and then we'll come back for Celtic and Hearts. Guys, if you enjoyed this episode, please leave a thumbs up, leave a comment below, and let me know what to do about this Eamon Brophy situation. Do I start him? Do I bring him in off the bench? What should I do? How should I go about rotating all of our defenders that are coming back off of injury? And I'll catch you in the next episode, guys. Oh, and subscribe if you're new as well. Peace.